Hi, welcome to Furoshiki 101, an introduction to Japanese cloth wrapping and tying techniques, presented by the Consulate-General of Japan in Seattle. The furoshiki is a square piece of cloth used to wrap items for safekeeping and has existed in Japan for well over 1,000 years. Originally, it was used to protect imperial treasures and to store valuable items of clothing. Over the centuries, this simple but versatile wrapping cloth was known by different names, but its current name came from its connection to Japan's bathing culture. In the 14th century, feudal lords and nobles would use these square cloths to wrap and carry their clean clothes to the bathhouse. After bathing, they would spread the cloth out on the floor like a bath mat, thereby creating a clean space to stand while drying off and changing their clothes. When they finished dressing, they were able to use the cloth to wrap and carry their dirty clothes home. The word furoshiki is a combination of two Japanese words, furo, which means bath, and shiki, which is a spread or can refer to the verb to spread or lay out. The popularity of using furoshiki reached a high point during the Edo era, when public bathhouses became accessible to everyone and not just the elite members of society. As the furoshiki's popularity increased, so did the ways that people used it. It became especially popular as a means to easily carry things of all sizes and shapes, which was especially useful to traveling merchants. They were able to quickly pack their goods and carry them on their backs as they traveled from town to town. In the latter half of the 20th century, when plastic bags were being introduced, many people stopped using furoshiki, except for special occasions. However, the furoshiki is now making a comeback as an eco-friendly alternative to plastic bags and is being rediscovered as a multifunctional replacement for wrapping paper. Not only are furoshiki durable and reusable, but new designs and ways to use these versatile cloths are being invented every day. In this video, we'll briefly discuss different types of furoshiki, practice the two basic knots you'll need, and learn several tying techniques which will allow you to use your furoshiki to both wrap and carry a variety of different objects. Let's talk a little bit about different kinds of furoshiki which come in all sizes, colors, patterns, and types of fabric. Furoshiki can be as big as this tablecloth or even bigger, measuring several yards square, or as small as a common handkerchief. What determines the size of your furoshiki is the size of the item you want to wrap or carry. Traditionally, furoshiki were made of silk or cotton. However, nowadays, nylon and polyester furoshiki are just as common as the traditional fabrics. One of the best features of furoshiki is the variety of patterns you can find. Some furoshiki can be very simple and plain, while others can be bright and colorful, with modern motifs like these spring chicks, or cute characters like this. Now you might have noticed something a little bit different about this particular furoshiki. There's a distinctive border all around the edges. Borders like this can add a nice touch when you're wrapping gifts. Something else you might want to think about when you're choosing a furoshiki is a particular theme. For example, these cherry blossoms are perfect for spring. When looking for furoshiki, it's important to always remember to check both sides, because you never know when you'll find a cool surprise like this. Having two different colors on one furoshiki can give a really cool look when wrapping gifts. One more pattern that you definitely want to keep your eyes open for are those furoshiki with corner designs. We'll learn more about how to make the most of this style of furoshiki when we practice gift wrapping techniques. Because this is meant to be a hands-on tutorial, you'll need to prepare the following items to follow along as I show different tying techniques. Hopefully you'll be able to find these things around your home. First, you'll need a square cloth measuring roughly 20 by 20 inches. This is a size that will match the props we'll be using today. You'll also need a hair scrunchie or a rubber band, a large orange or an apple, one DVD case, and 2 small pop bottles that are the same size and shape. A 10 to 12 ounce bottle will work the best. Now, if the size of your furoshiki is different or the items you're going to use are slightly larger, don't worry, you'll still be able to follow along. Here's that list again. You can hit pause while you gather these items and then hit play when you're ready to go. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Now that you know all about the furoshiki, let's switch gears and begin the fun part of this presentation, the hands-on tutorial. There are only 2 kinds of knots that you'll need to know to tie a furoshiki. The first knot is a single knot called a hitotsu musubi. Hitotsu means one, and musubi means knot. Sorry to disappoint those of you who know the other meaning of musubi. There aren't going to be any rice balls or spam musubi in this video. Please clear some space in front of you, grab your furoshiki, and let's get ready to learn how to tie the hitotsu musubi. To tie the hitotsu musubi, or single knot, one way is to grab any of the corners, and this will become like a tail. So grab one corner, hold it in your hand, and wrap the furoshiki around your hand, keeping the tail at the bottom. Then take this tail, bring it up towards you over the top of the furoshiki, and push it under by your palm until you see the tail again. Then simply pull the tail, and that's your single knot. If you have an easier way that you can tie a single knot, feel free to do that. But once again, I take the tail, I wrap it around my hand. The loose tail part is at the bottom. I bring that over back towards me, underneath the furoshiki, and then I pull that and make my single knot. And that is the hitotsu musubi. Now it's time to learn the second knot, which is called the ma musubi, or square knot. This one's a little bit more difficult than the hitotsu musubi, so we'll try to go slowly, and there's a trick at the end to see if you've done it correctly or not. We're going to use opposite corners of the furoshiki this time. So go ahead and kind of fold it in a triangle so that we can get the 2 opposite corners. The way that you're going to grab it is so that you have about a 4-inch tail in each hand. So with your tails in hand, we're going to start with the left hand, cross it over and on top of the right, and this left tail will go around and through the hole and then you'll pull it just a little bit to make sure that the tails are still the same length. Now you'll use the tail that's in your right hand, cross it over the left on top, then push it around in front of you, up through the hole, and pull. And this will create the ma musubi, or the square knot. Now the trick to use to see if you've done this correctly or not is with your right hand, grab below the knot. With your left hand, grab the tail that's above your right hand, and by turning your hand over and pulling your hands apart in a straight line, then letting go with your left hand, grabbing the knot lightly with your left hand, you should be able to just slide that knot off. If it didn't slide off, you might want to rewind and try it again. Now that you've mastered the 2 knots that you'll need, I have just one last quick instruction before we dive into the tying techniques. At the start of each new technique, I will say either diamond or square. And what I mean by that is the way that I would like you to put your furoshiki in front of you. So if I say diamond, please put your furoshiki this way, with the points at the top and the bottom, left and right. If, however, I say square, please put your furoshiki this way, where the flat edges are on the top and bottom and both sides. Great care is taken when giving gifts in Japan, as the appearance of a gift is a way to show respect to the receiver. Traditionally, for special occasions like weddings, gifts were often wrapped in beautiful furoshiki. For example, this is where the corner design comes into play. The decorated corner, which is a little more special than the other parts of the furoshiki, become kind of like the bling on your package. And our old friend, the ma musubi, or square knot, takes the place of the bow on top. So today we're going to learn this particular style of gift wrapping, so you will need a DVD case and your furoshiki, and you'll also need to imagine that one of your corners has a special design. The orientation of your furoshiki is diamond. So please place your furoshiki in front of you, like this, with the printed side down on the table. Take your DVD case, which is our gift, and place it near the center. We're going to do some pre-measuring first, because we want our decorated corner to come over the top of our DVD case and hang slightly down. For this particular design, I want the bear's face to just peek out under the knot. So I have my measurement, and I'm going to pull this back, and then I'm going to take the DVD case and flip it over once. This will make it easier for me to take the opposite corner and wrap it around and tuck it under the DVD box. Then I will roll it back towards me, and finally place my decorated corner back over the top. So this is what your furoshiki and your DVD case should look like. Now we're going to tie the ma musubi. So taking the tails on the left and the right in your hands, we're going to go left over right around and through, and then right over left, around and through. Now, because there's a contrast between the top and the bottom of this particular furoshiki, I'm going to use that and incorporate it into my design. So in a sense, it looks like my bear has a little headband on top. And that is the way that you can do a very simple gift wrap. The way that the design is facing with this flap that hangs down in the front is the way that you would give the gift to your friend or whoever's receiving it. A quick cultural note: when giving or receiving gifts in Japan, please do so with both hands. Now, some people don't particularly like the sight of this knot on top, and they want to showcase the design that's on that top flap. So a variation that you can do with this same wrapping technique is to simply reach under the knot and pull that flap out and over the top. Now the knot is hidden and you can see the complete design, or in this case, the whole bear's face. So with that one simple technique, you can get two different styles of gift wrapping. Our next wrapping technique is for anyone who might still be having a little bit of trouble with the mamusubi, or for those of you who just want to wrap something in a furoshiki as quickly as possible. For this technique, you'll need your DVD case and your hair scrunchie. If you don't have a hair scrunchie, a rubber band will be just fine. I will be using the double-sided furoshiki for this particular technique, just to show you what it looks like to work with a furoshiki that has two different colors. We'll be putting our furoshiki in the diamond position with the color pattern side of your furoshiki on the table. Place your DVD case in the center. Then grab opposite corners, holding them up at the top, and then grabbing down at the base, as close to the DVD case as possible. Then take your scrunchie and wrap it around 1 or 2 times. That should be good enough. You want your scrunchie to be tight enough to hold the tails in place, but loose enough that when you fold down the tails, you can still put your finger inside the center. Now, some people are perfectly happy with this flower design. That took maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute at the most. Yet there is another way that you can make this even more special. If you take opposite ends of your furoshiki, tuck those corners inside the center of your scrunchie, you can create this kind of design, which is like a flower with 2 leaves. If you choose to do so, you can put all 4 of the tails in the center. How far you push the tails in is completely up to you to create whatever effect you would like. Now our flower looks more like a rose. Some more options on how you can dress this up even more. You can get a super fancy scrunchie or an elastic bracelet with a lot of bling, beautiful beads on it, or a ribbon. Or you can even add a small hair clip if you'd like. Really, it's up to you how much you want to dress it up. But this is one of the fastest ways that I know of to wrap a present in a furoshiki without even having to use any knots. For our next technique, called the 2-bottle wrap, you will need both of your mini pop or juice bottles and your furoshiki. Place your furoshiki with the pattern side down on the table in the diamond position. You're going to take your 2 bottles and stand them up in the center of your furoshiki. Then you're going to gently lay them down on the sides, leaving a little bit of space in between so that when you stand them back up, they have room to come up next to each other. Next, you're going to take the corner closest to you and put that over your bottles, and then grab 1 bottle in each hand, pulling the furoshiki slightly closer to you so that you can roll it away from you like this. When you come to the end of your furoshiki, you will have this little corner here. I like to put that in the middle when I stand my bottles back up. It just seems to hold everything in place a little better. Next, with the 2 tails at the top, tie your ma musubi, left over right, and right over left. And this is the 2-bottle wrap. This is a great way to not only wrap bottles as a gift, but also allows you to easily carry them. Sometimes when I go grocery shopping, I'll do this if I have a lot of glass bottles. It's very quick to do, and then I won't have the bottles rolling around in my trunk. Earlier, I mentioned about furoshiki that had borders. Here's an example of a furoshiki that has a nice border, and see how it adds to the design. If you are giving this as a present, if it's wine or beer or pop, whatever you'd like, your beverage of choice, you could add on a bottle opener or just a ribbon to dress it up. And this is a really nice way to present a gift. For the next wrapping technique, we'll need 1 of your mini pop or juice bottles and your furoshiki. Please put your furoshiki in the square position, again with the right side of the fabric or the colorful side down on the table. Take your bottle and put it in the middle of your furoshiki. Grab the 2 corners that are closest to you, and you're going to tie a ma musubi, a square knot, around the neck of the bottle. Tie it tightly enough that it stays on, but leave a little bit of space so you can still get your finger underneath the knot. Because the next step is we're going to take 1 of the tails, so I'll take the tail on the left and put it underneath the knot. And while I'm still holding that knot around the neck of the bottle, I'm going to pull up my loose tail. Then I'm going to take the remaining free corner. Again, put it underneath the knot, and push it through, and pull it up. So now it kind of looks like a rabbit. Our mamusubi is in front, and our two tails are on top. At the very tip, we're going to tie one more mamusubi. And there you have the water bottle holder. What's nice about this is that if it's a cold drink, the furoshiki can be helpful in soaking up any condensation from the cold drink. You have easy access to your lid, so you can easily take it off and have a drink. And because you have this handle on top, it's a great way to carry it either over your wrist, or you can tie it on your belt, or tie it on your backpack. Or if you have a big dog with you, you could tie it on their backpack so they can help carry things. But this is a really useful way to not only carry your water bottle, but it can still be used as a gift wrap as well. Now we're going to switch gears a bit from form or gift wrapping to function, carrying things. I'll show you how the furoshiki can serve a dual purpose of being something that's used to carry items, but also quickly able to convert from a bag back to a way to wrap a gift. This technique is known as the Suica or watermelon wrap because it's great for carrying round objects. And in Japan, Suica or watermelons usually look like this. With two simple mamusubi, we're going to make a quick tote bag. So for this technique, get your orange or your apple, and please put your furoshiki in the square position with the colored side down on the table. Take the corners that are closest to you and tie a mamusubi. As you're tying your mamusubi, please be sure to leave a small opening for your hand because this will become one of your handles. Take the other two corners and again tie another mamusubi, remembering to leave a hole for your hand. And there you have it. Two quick knots and you have a handy little bag that's easy to open and carry around. Orange fits perfectly in there. And now to switch this from just a plain bag to a gift wrap, put the knot through one of the handles. And here you have your mamusubi, which is like a little bow. And you can present this as a gift. So again, all that you're doing is using your handles by placing one of the knots through the opposite handle, pulling it through, and creating this effect of a gift wrap. This particular technique is really great, especially if you play sports. For example, if you play soccer and it's outside and it's raining and this is all muddy, if you have a furoshiki, you can easily put it inside, do the Suica wrap, and now your car won't get dirty, or you can easily tie this to your backpack or your bike and carry your dirty ball home. And after you get home, you can easily take off the furoshiki and throw it in the laundry to wash it. So this is a really good and useful technique. For our last technique, we will be folding one more bag, but finally you will get to use the hitotsu musubi. We're going to put the furoshiki in front of us in the diamond position. However, this time, please be sure that the colored side is facing up. Grab the far corner and fold your furoshiki into a triangle. Now take the corner on the left and come in maybe about 3 or 4 inches and tie a musubi. Do the same thing on the other side. With this particular bag, you can adjust if it's going to be a deep, narrow bag or a wide, shallow bag, depending on where you put your hitotsu musubi. With the 2 remaining corners at the top, tie a musubi. And this will be your single handle. This bag is actually quite deceiving in that it can hold a lot of things. You can easily reach in to get things out or put things into this bag. Sometimes people don't like the look of it because of the knots that are hanging out. So if you simply turned it inside out, the knots become hidden and the bag gets a much more refined look that's similar to a teardrop. And so this is called the teardrop bag. Again, it's one of the most useful and easiest bags that you can make with the furoshiki when you're shopping or just have to go out quickly. It's a great technique to know. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you had fun learning about the furoshiki and how to use it. Please scan the QR code that will appear momentarily to access instructions for more tying techniques from the Japanese Ministry of the Environment, as well as useful links from the Consulate-General of Japan in Seattle about opportunities to study or work in Japan on the JET program. You will also find links to more videos about the furoshiki and other resources to explore Japanese culture. A furoshiki can be used to wrap or carry almost anything. The only limitation is your own imagination. So have fun creating new ways to use the furoshiki, and please share what you've learned with your friends and family.